When people think of motorcycle mods, they picture flashy exhausts, neon lights, or custom paint jobs that scream midlife crisis. But here's the truth. Some of the best mods aren't sexy. They don't make noise, they don't turn heads, and they definitely won't win you any bike show trophies. But they work. And once you've used them, you'll wonder how you ever rode without them. This one's for the riders who want real improvements. The kinds you don't learn about from dealerships or weekend warriors. I'm talking about those underrated, underappreciated, and often unknown upgrades that quietly make your life a whole lot easier. Let's get into the secret motorcycle mods no one talks about, but every smart rider should know. Number 1. Auxiliary Fuse Block, aka the sanity saver for wiring mods. You ever see a guy with 5 accessories all spliced into his battery like a mad scientist with a soldering addiction? It's a mess. Bare wires, taped up connections, and more chances for failure than a homemade fireworks show. That's where an auxiliary fuse block comes in. And honestly, I don't know why every rider who adds accessories doesn't use one. A fuse block is a clean, centralized way to wire in all your accessories. Heated grips, phone chargers, GPS units, extra lighting, you name it. Instead of tapping into your ignition wire like a rookie, you run a single power line from your battery to the fuse block and then connect everything else through its individually fused terminals. If one thing fails, the others keep working, and you're not hunting for which melted wire is frying your battery. There are even versions that only power up when your bike is on, so you won't accidentally drain your battery overnight. Riders with heated gear swear by these because it keeps everything tidy, safe, and easy to troubleshoot if something goes wrong. And if you ever sell your bike, you can remove all your add-ons without leaving it looking like an electrician's nightmare. It's not flashy. It won't make your bike louder or faster. But if you got more than one gadget on your bike and you haven't added one of these, you're asking for a future headache. This is one of those do it right the first time mods. Number 2. Brake light modulators, because being rear-ended sucks. Here's the truth. Most drivers aren't looking out for motorcycles, especially at red lights. They're staring at their phones, zoning out to talk radio, or arguing with their kids in the back seat. And you're just a small dot in their blurry world of distractions. That's where a brake light modulator comes in, and I'm telling you, this little gadget might just save your life. What it does is simple. When you hit the brakes, instead of just turning on your brake light like normal, it flashes it in a rapid pulse for a second or two. That pulsing light snaps drivers out of their trance and gets their attention fast. Studies have shown it drastically reduces rear-end collisions on bikes, and it's 100% legal in most U.S. states, as long as it flashes briefly before going solid. Check your local laws, of course, but in most places, it's good to go. And no, I'm not talking about wiring a strobe light onto your tail. A proper modulator is plug and play for most bikes. You just swap it into your brake light wiring harness and boom, instant visibility. Some even let you adjust the pulse pattern if you want something subtle or a little more in your face. It's one of those safety mods that does its job quietly, but you'll never go back once you have it, especially at night or in bad weather when your visibility already sucks. This thing can be the difference between getting home and getting pancaked by some half-asleep SUV driver. It's cheap, easy to install, and most people don't even know it exists. But you should. Because being seen is better than being sorry. Number 3. Bar end turn signals. The clever visibility upgrade nobody thinks of. Most riders think of turn signals as those clunky plastic pods that stick out from your fairings or rear fender like afterthoughts. They're basic, they work, and they break the moment your bike tips over in the driveway. But there's a better, cleaner, and honestly smarter way to do it. Bar end turn signals. These little beauties replace or integrate into your handlebar ends, lighten up in a bright ring when you signal. Why does it matter? Because they're at eye level for most drivers and right in their peripheral vision. It's way harder for someone to claim they didn't see your blinker when it's flashing bright amber at the edge of your handlebars. And since most cars' side mirrors are aimed at the handlebar height, they catch that light even if the driver's half asleep. They're especially slick for naked bikes, cafe racers, or anything where you want a clean look but without bulky signal housings. A lot of guys slap these on and eliminate their front signals entirely. Just make sure that they're DOT approved if that matters in your state. Installation's usually easy too. Most models are plug and play, though you might need resistors if you're switching from incandescent to LED. Some even double as running lights for extra visibility at night. It's not just a styling mod. It's practical, effective, and it protects your signals from getting snapped off next time your bike tips over in a gravel parking lot. It's the kind of mod that feels small until you try it, and then you're like, why isn't this standard from the factory? Number 4. Upgraded horn. Because the stock one might as well be a squeaky toy. If you've ever pressed your bike's horn in traffic and felt like you just politely asked someone to maybe move please, then you already know the problem. Stock motorcycle horns are, for lack of a better word, pathetic. Most of them sound like a clown car honking from the bottom of a swimming pool. You're on a machine capable of triple-digit speeds, and it's crying for help like a wounded duck. That's why swapping in a proper horn is one of the smartest, cheapest mods you can make, especially if you ride in traffic regularly. There are compact air horns like the Denali Sound Bomb or the Stiebel Nautilus that deliver over 120 decibels. That's louder than most car horns and enough to snap a texting driver out of their coma before they drift into your lane. You don't even have to go that big. Even a decent plug-and-play horn with a beefier diaphragm can make a world of difference. And you don't need to mess with relays or run new wiring if you pick the right one. It's one of those mods where you feel the power instantly the first time you hit that button and hear a blast loud enough to wake the dead. It's not just about being obnoxious, it's about being heard. You're already small and hard to see. If a car starts merging into you, yelling isn't gonna do squat. But a horn that says, "I'm right here, buddy," can stop a lane change mid-swerve. It's a tiny investment for a massive upgrade in safety and confidence. Number 5. Adjustable clutch and brake levers. Don't let factory settings wreck your ride. This one's so underrated, it blows my mind more riders don't talk about it. Ever hop on someone else's bike and the clutch lever feels like it's a mile away from the grip? Or the brake bites too soon or too late for your comfort? That's because those factory levels are designed for average hands, which, spoiler alert, don't actually exist. Yet most riders never think to change them. Enter adjustable levers. These let you fine-tune the reach and feel of both the clutch and the front brake to match your hands, your riding style, and even your gloves. You can set them closer or further out, change the pivot feel, and make your controls more responsive without having to wrestle your fingers around stock levers made for giants or toddlers. It's not just about comfort either. Poor ergonomics lead to fatigue, and fatigue leads to mistakes, especially on long rides or in stop-and-go traffic. You'll notice how much smoother everything feels when your hands aren't constantly stretching or cramping just to hit the clutch. And get this, adjustable levers can also reduce arm pump on sportier rides because you're not overextending yourself with every downshift. Some even fold inwards to avoid snapping off if your brake tips over. That's not a flashy feature. That's practical peace of mind. Most aftermarket levers are super easy to install and come in colors if you're into style points. But even in black, they'll make your bike feel like it's made for you, and not some imaginary one-size-fits-all rider. This is one of those upgrades you don't appreciate until you've done it, but once you do, you'll never go back. Number 6. Fork preload adjusters. Fine tuning without a full rebuild. Suspension tuning sounds intimidating to a lot of riders. People think you need to spend a fortune on a full suspension upgrade or bring your bike to a race shop just to make it ride right. But there's a middle ground, and it's called fork preload adjusters. These little knobs can completely change how your front end behaves, and most people don't even know they exist. What they do is simple. They adjust the preload on your front forks without you needing to disassemble anything. Preload is basically how much the suspension is compressed when you're just sitting on the bike. If you're too light or too heavy for your factory setup, your front end either dives too much or feels like a brick. Preload adjusters let you compensate for your weight, riding style, or even how much gear you're carrying. Most bikes come with non-adjustable forks unless you're riding something high-end, but there are bolt-on adjusters that replace the top caps of your forks, giving you a simple dial to add or remove preload. 5 minutes of installation, and suddenly your bike doesn't dive like a submarine every time you brake hard. What's wild is how much better your bike feels with just a little fine-tuning. Better cornering, more stable braking, and less fatigue from fighting the suspension all day. And if you carry a passenger, you can adjust it on the fly. No fancy tools needed, just a turn of the dial. It's one of the most functional mods you can add without dropping $1,000, and yet it rarely makes the Instagram upgrade list. But real riders, they know how much it matters. Number 7. Helmet Quick Release Buckle. Because fumbling with D-rings sucks in the real world. Let's talk about one of the smallest mods that'll change your everyday riding experience. A quick release buckle for your helmet strap. Now, I get it, there's a reason why double D-rings are the gold standard. They're strong, they're secure, and they're what racing organizations require. But for the average rider who's not track daying every weekend, fumbling with D-rings at gas stations or with gloves on gets old real quick. A Helmet Quick Release Buckle is a simple mod that adds a secure, one-click system to fasten and release your chin strap. You install it once, usually by threading your existing strap through the mechanism, and from then on, you're locking and unlocking your helmet with one hand in 2 seconds flat. No more trying to shove a strap through 2 tiny rings in the dark while your buddy's already halfway down the road. Now, before the safety brigade starts shouting, yes, there are plenty of DOT and ECE approved quick release systems out there. Some helmets even come with them from the factory in Europe and Asia, where they're more common. The good ones are made of high-grade metal or reinforced polymer, and they're not going to fail unless you bought some eBay knockoff for $2. Buy from a reputable brand, and you're golden. This is the kind of upgrade that doesn't seem like a big deal until you've used it for a week. After that, you're wondering why every helmet doesn't come with one. If convenience, comfort, and safety can all come in for one $10 mod, that's a no-brainer. Number 8. Speed bleeders. Because brake fluid shouldn't be a two-man job. Bleeding your brakes is one of those tasks that sounds simple but turns into a wrestling match with air bubbles and frustration. You've either got to drag someone out of their weekend to pump the lever while you open and close the bleed screw, or you try the old jar and hose trick and pray it doesn't suck air back in. But if you got speed bleeders, all that nonsense disappears. Speed bleeders are replacement bleeder screws for your calipers that have a built-in check valve. That means when you open them up and squeeze the brake lever, they let fluid out, then automatically seal when you release. No sucking air back in, no need for a second person, and no mad dash to close the screw in time. You crack it open, pump the lever a few times, and boom, your fluid is finished, your brakes are bled, and your afternoon just got a whole lot less messy. They're perfect if you like to do your own maintenance, but hate the drama that comes with brake bleeding. Some versions even come with a protective cap and thread sealant already applied. And they're cheap, like under $20 for a pair in most cases. That's a steal when you consider how often you should be flushing your brake fluid. Even if you only do it once a year, speed bleeders pay for themselves in convenience alone. It's not the kind of mod that makes your bike faster or flashier, but it's one of those little upgrades that makes maintenance smoother and lets you ride more and wrench less. Number 9. Hidden helmet lock mount. Because carrying it sucks, and so does leaving it. Every rider knows the awkward dance. You pull up somewhere, take off your helmet, and then wonder what the hell to do with it. Do you carry it around like a giant bowling ball? Do you leave it on your mirror and hope it doesn't fall? Or do you balance it on your seat like some kind of helmet whisperer? It's all a pain, and that's why a hidden helmet lock is such a damn smart upgrade. Most bikes have a basic helmet hook under the seat, but let's be honest, they're a joke. They're hard to reach, they scratch the helmet strap, and they're barely secure. A hidden helmet lock, usually mounted under the subframe by the license plate bracket or integrated into crash bars, gives you a much better way to lock up your lid when you're off the bike. Some versions are combination locks, others use a key. And a few even come with a retractable cable you can run through the chin bar or the D-rings. The best part? It keeps your helmet off the ground, off your bars, and out of harm's way. And if someone wants to snatch it, they'll need bolt cutters or a lot of nerve. It's not a flashy mod. It's not something you show off at bike night, but it solves a real-world problem in a slick, permanent way. And once it's there, you use it every single day without even thinking. You spend hundreds on a helmet, a $25 lock to keep it safe. That's just common sense. Number 10. Hidden kill switch toggle. The anti-theft trick most riders don't use. Now here's one I guarantee 90% of riders don't have. A hidden kill switch toggle. It's a dirt cheap, ultra effective anti-theft mod that nobody talks about because it doesn't look cool and doesn't come with a flashy name. But if you ever parked in a sketchy spot or left your bike outside overnight, you'll appreciate the genius behind it. Basically, you wire in a second hidden kill switch. Could be under your seat, inside your side panel, or tucked somewhere totally inconspicuous. Then you flip it off when you park. Even if a thief hotwires your ignition or bypasses your main switch, the bike won't start unless they know where to flip that hidden toggle back on. This little trick adds an extra layer of security without the bulk of a lock or the monthly cost of GPS tracking. It's not foolproof, of course, but it'll stop casual thieves dead in their tracks. Most bike thieves are opportunists, not electrical engineers. They want a quick hit, not a puzzle. And the best part, costs you maybe $10 and a little time to install. No subscription, no notifications, no flashy branding. Just you and a quiet little switch that says, "Not today." You don't need to spend hundreds on high-tech security. Sometimes the smartest protection is the one nobody sees coming. Look, not every motorcycle mod needs to be flashy or expensive to be worth it. Some of the best upgrades are the ones that fly under the radar. Things that make your bike more functional, safer, or just easier to live with. And most of these, they cost way less than a tank of gas these days. So if you've been spending all your time looking at loud pipes and carbon fiber doodads, maybe shift your focus. These sleeper mods might not get likes on Instagram, but they'll make you appreciate your ride even more, and sometimes they'll save your hide when it counts. Now I want to hear from you. What's the most underrated motorcycle mod you've ever installed? Or better yet, what's a weird upgrade you swear by that nobody ever talks about? Drop them in the comments, I read them all. And if this gave you some ideas for your next garage session, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.